People love to believe they're smarter than the system, especially when it comes to money they don't actually have. I've watched this for decades. Smart people, highly educated people, successful professionals, and yet I've seen them destroy their financial lives with debt they were convinced they could manage. They give it fancy names: leverage, optimization, efficiency. I'll say it plainly. It's legalized self-delusion. And if you're sitting there right now asking, should I invest or should I pay off my debt? Then understand this. You're already standing on the wrong side of the fence. You've accepted debt as normal. And that's how financial disasters always begin, with one smart justification, then another, then another. People say debt is harmless if you use it wisely, so they tell themselves stories. My loan is cheap, my returns are higher, so I'm winning. No, you're not winning. You're juggling fire. Subway while standing in the middle of a gasoline warehouse. I have never met a single person who went broke, without owing someone money first. Not one. That's not coincidence. That's a financial law. The smartest investors I know don't sleep well because they own great stocks. They sleep well because nobody owns them. You cannot build rational wealth with an irrational burden on your back. You cannot think long-term when short-term payments are sitting on your head. And you cannot call yourself free when someone else controls your next paycheck. Here's something nobody tells you openly. Debt changes how you think. It turns you into a short-term decision maker. It destroys patience. And in the market, patience is oxygen. I've seen people brag about beating the market while carrying high interest loans. That's like bragging about swimming fast while your pockets are full of stones. You might move for a while. Eventually, you drown. When I was young, memories of the Great Depression were still fresh. People understood pain. They feared debt like they feared disease. That fear kept them financially alive. Today, we treat debt like a vitamin. Everyone takes it. Nobody reads the side effects. But debt is slow poison. It doesn't kill quickly. It kills silently. It kills when your luck runs out. You want to invest? Fine. But don't call it investing if you're doing it with borrowed money. That's gambling or wearing a suit. The only difference between a gambler and a leveraged investor is that the gambler knows he's gambling. The leveraged investor lies to himself. I have seen leverage wipe out people 10 times smarter than you or me. Intelligence does not protect you from compound stupidity. The math of debt is brutal. It compounds against you every single day with perfect discipline. And compounding, whether it's working for you or against you, never sleeps. I've always said the first rule of compounding is never interrupt it unnecessarily. Debt is that interruption. It's a parasite feeding on your future. People ask me, what if my loan is at 3% and the market gives 7%? I ask them back, what if the 7% disappears? What if the market falls 40%? What if you lose your job next month? Debt doesn't care about projections. Debt cares about payments. Always. People overcomplicate something that is very simple. You don't need a spreadsheet to know what's right. You need common sense. If you owe money, pay it off. If you're free, stay free, because freedom compounds better than any stock I've ever owned. In the end, wealth is not about how much you earn. It's about how little you owe. When you owe nothing, every dollar you earn is truly yours. And when you control your time, your decisions, your peace of mind, that is real wealth. Before chasing the next hot investment trend, ask yourself one question. Are you building freedom, or are you just decorating your prison? That's the real question. But people like to say money is emotional. It isn't. Money is arithmetic, and arithmetic does not care about your feelings, your optimism, or your fancy theories. Let's talk about simple math, the kind you can do on a napkin. If you owe $10,000 at 15% interest, that's $1,500 a year, a guaranteed loss. You cannot diversify it. You cannot hedge it. It's a negative return for sure. Now tell me, where will you find a guaranteed 15% return in the stock market without risk? You won't. That's the brutal truth about debt. It is certain. And in finance, certainty is dangerous when it's working against you. You don't fix a leaking boat by installing a faster engine. You fix the hole first. Debt is that hole. Investing before fixing it is just rowing faster toward the iceberg. People say, but the market gives 10% in the long run. Yes, if you have the stomach to handle a 50% crash without panicking. Most people don't have that stomach. They only have a pulse. When the market falls, their confidence falls with it. Debt, meanwhile, keeps compounding. Steady, relentless, unbothered. The market may recover in 2 years or 10. Your lender doesn't care, like he wants his payment next month. When you're in debt, you're in a race between interest and wisdom. Most people lose because they underestimate how fast stupidity compounds. You cannot think clearly, when the meter is running. Debt taxes your mind before it taxes your wallet. You start making urgent decisions instead of intelligent ones. You sell too early. You panic too late. That's not investing, that's survival gambling. And the story continues the same way every time.